All right, so now that we've set up our Google Meet, either by embedding the link through Google Classroom or creating an event on Google Calendar, let's take a look at what Google Meet has to offer. Now, before I get started kind of walking you through these different tools that they have, I wanted to show you this tool here, the Grid View tool. Now, this isn't an option that's already added into Meet as a default. It's something that you do need to add as a Chrome extension. So if you go to the Chrome Web Store and you type in Google Meet Grid View, you can add it to your Chrome extension apps. Okay, so I've connected to my Meet here. Now under that Chrome extension app, the Grid View app, when more students come in, they're going to show up here as a grid. So it can give you the option of seeing all of your students at the same time. There are different options. I've got all of them selected except for the screen capture mode. So it's only going to show me students who have video, who have their cameras turned on. Let's say, for example, John Smith didn't have his camera turned on, then it's just going to show up here. John Smith is here, but he's not going to show up in my grid because he doesn't have his video showing. Highlighting the speakers, as you can see, there's a green box around. That's because I'm the person who's talking. I've included myself in the grid, so if there were more people here, I would be showing as well. And then I enabled Grid View by default. So now that I've got the Chrome extension, whenever I use Meet, it's going to automatically set to Grid View. Okay. Some other tools that we have here, if I click on this, it's going to give me a list view of everyone who's been in my, or who is in my class right now. Obviously, it's just me. And if I want to chat with them, send messages to people, I can do that here. Now, the messages here go to everyone. So everyone in the class is going to see them. Okay. Down in the bottom left-hand corner, we have our meeting details. So if you need to share this meeting with somebody else, a meeting that is ongoing, then you can click copy join info and you can send that info to them via email or text message or whatever. Now, because my meets are set through Google Calendar, if I had any attachments to that, then they'll show up here. But because I don't have any attachments for these events, there's no attachments that you can see. Okay. Now down here is where my microphone, if I were to click it, my microphone was off, you couldn't hear me. If I'm done with this call, then I'm going to leave it here. And if I want to show my face, then I can turn on my camera there. Okay. Captions, if I want them, their captions are going to show up down here, as you can see. I can turn those on and off. And when I'm ready to present my screen, I will do that here. Okay. Now, there's very little that I've modified through this settings. The more options down here, if I click on the vertical ellipses, if I want to record this meeting for any reason, if I want to change the layout, if I want to go full screen or turn on captions, which I can do down here anyway. The settings is just about the mic and the video, so there's not much that needs to be changed there. If somebody's making a phone call, if I want to use the call for audio, reporting problems, and help. Okay, so again, one of the reasons why I use Google Meet is because it doesn't have a whole lot of like different things that you can do to it, which some people, they want those bells and whistles. I don't need them. I just need to be able to see students' faces and talk to them, and that's it. So that is why I choose to use Google Meet over anything else. And again, when I'm done, if I've embedded the link into my Google Classroom, I want to make sure that all of the students leave the call and then leave the call myself and take it off of my Google Classroom. It's going to be here. If I set up my meets through Google Calendar, they're going to be here all the time. If you're worried about your students being on here without you and you're not being able to monitor them, then maybe having it through Google Calendar isn't what you want to do. If you don't have office hours the way that my site does, then maybe that's not something that you need either to have a universal link for all of your students. So having it set up in Calendar is unnecessary as well. But either way, I feel like this is a simple tool to use, and so it's the one that I prefer.